Partnerships at ADL. I'm really excited to be here hosting this panel today. I'm sure you've heard this many times already today, but in case you haven't, ADL, of course, is the leading anti-hate organization in the world. We were founded in 1913 with the timeless mission to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and secure justice and fair treatment to all. This mission spoke to me when I decided to join the organization, and it continues to speak to me and inspire me every morning when I wake up and turn on my computer, and sometimes when I open my email when I really should be sleeping, and all of those other times of the day. It really is work that keeps me going, and it is work that I am proud to do all the time. And I'm going to stop talking and about housekeeping and get to our panel today. So, with your permission, I am not going to get into the bio of our panelists, right? If you want to know all about the wonderful work that they have done, you can read all about them in the app. And I am just going to sort of dive right into our conversation today. So I will tell you who is on our stage. We have, wow, this is the kind of day I'm having. We have Dr. Mimi Knoll from the Jewish Orthodox Women's Medical Association. We have Adam Pollock from 18 Doors, and we have Rabbi Heather Miller, who wears many hats, but is an educator, is the board chair of Amud, the Jews of Color Torah Academy, and has her own organization, The Multitudes. And of course, I am, like I said, Tema, the director of Jewish Outreach and Partnerships for ADL. So what are we here to talk about today? This is an opportunity for us to really discuss the way that anti-Semitism is showing up across the breadth of the Jewish community. We have, kind of by accident, actually, geographical breadth. Adam is in San Francisco, and then we have some New York representation, so we are bi-coastal. We have multiple denominations of Jewish identity, and an opportunity. Everyone on this stage lives in Jewish community and also works with Jews of different identities. And so this is an opportunity really for us to have a conversation that is, my goal here is for all of us to be able to talk a little bit across both personal and professional lines. We are, I actually live in Toronto, but I live there, but work in the U.S. I, live sort of in multiple identities. I myself am a biracial woman who attends multiple synagogues, has worked in multiple denominations of congregation, has sat on the board of a partnership minyan, but also worked in a Reform congregation and everything in between, and has been involved in Jews of Color space, has worked for Interfaith Families Inclusion, and also is an anti-Semitism educator, and works with Jews of all identities in the work that I do at ADL. And so when I was approached to convene a panel, I thought, one of the things that has really been so evident to me since October 7th is that I hear stories from the full breadth of the Jewish community every day, but I'm not sure that Jews hear those stories from each other every day, and I'm not sure, and if we're not hearing those stories from each other, most certainly the worlds in which we all are circulating more broadly are not hearing what our whole community as an entire community is experiencing. So that's kind of what I'm hoping that we can talk about a little bit today. It is a great privilege to be able to bring this panel together. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to them to have a bit of a conversation about that. So just for, to sort of get us going, I'm going to kick it over to you first, Heather. All of us on this stage come from different parts of the community and are leaders in Jewish spaces, and we represent different segments of a very diverse community. But we know that our community and all of us are experiencing the rise of anti-Semitism in ways that might overlap, but also probably don't in some ways. How has that rise of anti-Semitism been showing up for you in your own life or in the lives of the communities you serve or represent? And how has that changed since October 7th?
Oh boy.
It's the multi-question question.
It is the multi-question question. I think that because I went to a session before lunch, and so that's sort of like also on my heart at the moment. I think that it shows up in so many different ways, just like it does everyone else in this room. I think that one way that I experience anti-Semitism a little bit differently is that for so much, as a Jewish community, we often, when there is heightened anti-Semitism out in the world, we have communities of refuge. We're able to retreat into our communities. But oftentimes what happens when we are making decisions as a Jewish community to ramp up security, ramp up all of these things, we are building walls without the tools, without those inclusion tools that many of our communities have leaned so far in to bring people back in from the fringes. What happens in times like these is those walls are built back up without those tools. And there isn't a lot of conversation or thought about who might feel left on the other side of those walls, and how the things that we do to protect ourselves as a Jewish community might not feel that way to our people as a multiracial Jewish community. And so then what happens is we're all experiencing anti-Semitism in so many different ways. It's bombarding, it's in the media, it's in social media, it's everywhere you turn. And then we also want to retreat into our communal spaces, and then we're faced with things that trigger other protective factors for us. And then the places and the spaces that are supposed to be communities of safety are not necessarily that. And then we have members of our community that are just well, that's just the price that you pay for looking the way you do in our community, and that's not fair. And so those are also parts of those nuanced conversations, because there are things that I experience myself, but I'm also a mom. And I have kids that are going in. I am a day school mommy. And when my kids are going into Jewish spaces and I'm not there to be that voice, I don't want them to be pushed out. That's my job. As a Jewish mommy, it is my job to make sure that they are living very fully connected Jewish lives, and all of these little things eat at their sense of self as a Jewish person in the Jewish world. And so I'm countering a lot of that, and I think that